First of all, Ariely, share a little bit with us about your story. What is your career story? Where did you grow up? And where is it you call home now?
Yeah, so I started my professional career when I was 18 years old in Mexico City, where I am from actually, while studying my bachelor in international business. And 13 years ago, actually, I joined an almost $10 million dollar construction equipment OEM. And since then, my career has been shaped with many changes, which I have decided to tackle as life changing opportunities. During the first years of joining this OEM, management decided to shut down the factory when I was working. And the person who will become my sponsor for years to come offered me to move and to move abroad to continue my opportunities within the organization. So I accepted and this offer, and I moved to Brazil for 6 months and as an interim opportunity to move finally to the US. During these years, I went from operations to sales and marketing functions. And a few years later, I moved to Belgium to join a global team, the strategy and business development team. During this time, I developed corporate strategy for the company. And also, I led many change management programs. So, for personal reasons, I needed to go back to the US. And a few years, I came back here to Europe, where I am today in Germany. So now Germany is home. And after 5 years of being in corporate strategy development, I needed a change. And I wanted to go back to what I call real life.
Yeah.
In hindsight, to be honest, I believe that maybe at that point I was started to feel a bit stagnant. So I reached out to my sponsor and we were able to identify a new opportunity for me to move from to join again operations, but also sales and operations team, leading a task force, a global task force. And fast forward to a few months ago, and after 4 or 5 years as an individual contributor at director level, I was looking for an opportunity to lead a team because I wanted to prove myself as a leader within the organization. And I finally got the opportunity to do that, but now in the technology function after some failed interviews, though. That's important to say. So, in summary, I have moved across 5 countries and I have experienced the organization in 4 different functions across the value chain, but I was still feeling stagnant.
Yeah, I want to talk about it because
Yeah.
it looks like you have a lot of sponsors who helped you along the way in your career, right? When we met, when we first time we spoke, what was it that you were struggling?
Yeah, at that time, I was lacking confidence in myself. As I was thinking about this question, I realized the root cause was I was lacking confidence in myself. I was feeling stuck in my career and that all the efforts, the accomplishments, the trade offs, the moving my family around were not enough. I had achieved my MBA and also received some feedback from my last interview process, but I wasn't sure how to turn it into an opportunity to grow. And I also felt that at that point, I was feeling underappreciated, underpaid, and overlooked at times.
How come? Because from what you've said, right, you had this 5 relocation, and you've worked different functions in the organization with a lot of different sponsors. In what way did you feel not confident, underappreciated, and underpaid?
Yeah, I think the fact of being around 5 years in the same director level and me going to interview process where I wanted to prove myself as a leader, but failing or having a fail and not receiving feedback on how to put the growth in, that was making me feel that was starting to build a lack of confidence in me. As in, I was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And maybe I just needed to stay where I was. without any, like, that was my ceiling, the top of my ceiling, let's say.
Right. How long did you try to get to the next level interviews?
I tried probably even before moving here to Germany. So I will say I tried 3 times. So in the time frame of probably 3 years, 4 years, I would say 3 years. Yes.
Yeah. What's it like to be rejected and not getting any constructive feedback to understand why?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because at first it feels frustrating, and also you get upset with the situation, to be honest, at some point, right? So it takes a lot of resilience to be able to switch the mindset, and to be able to find it as an opportunity, and to find the golden nugget in that feedback, or in that lack of feedback, to figure it out that maybe you need to do something different. If I have done the same thing for 3 different interviews, either it was not them, it was on me. So I needed to do something different.
Yeah. Now you just achieved a major career milestone. Can you share with us what was it?
Yes. So finally, I got the opportunity I've been asking for, if I can call it that way. Now I'm leading a team of 9 people. They are all global people spread across. And on top of that, I'm moving functions into a new function that to me was absolutely not a function I would never look at. That is technology. I am not an engineer by career. So I've always believed that all engineers go into technology.
Yeah.
But I've been able to prove myself wrong, which I appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah. And what makes this milestone so special for you?
Oof, many things. So first one is, as I said, that I prove myself wrong, that I don't need to be an engineer to be in technology. That's one bias that I debunk to myself, and even within the organization, because to be honest, we still, as an OEM, we still believe that engineers go to specific buckets and administrators go to HR.
Yeah.
We all have our career paths. So I think, for a start, to break that norm of where each of our careers need to go. That's the very first one. Second, that I really wanted to work with people, because I do believe that I want to lift folks as I climb. And the fastest or best way of doing this is by having a team with me that I can bring along. So that was definitely a huge step for me. And then it was, probably I can start talking about joining the program, because it was done like a crash course of 3 or 4 modules of the program in like 3 weeks. So it was like, let's make it happen. So I was always so open for every single advice that was provided during our sessions, and I follow it to the T. I think that was also very important for me to mention.
I have so much talk about that part
Yes.
as well. I actually want to point out that I'm taking notes here when I'm saying you always had a sponsor before, and this time when you reach the point, there's no sponsor. So this one is special. You really did it with your competence, your passion, your skills, your knowledge, your experience. That's first. From what I see. And second is, what is really, really incredible, you just said it here, and I would just want to reemphasize, is many people think if I work in finance, I'm just going to end my career in finance. If I work in operations, I'm manufacturing, I'm going to end my career in manufacturing. Well, you've done corporate strategy, then you went to sales and marketing, and then you went to manufacturing, and then you now are in R&D, right? So that real cross-functional experience is, first of all, amazing. And second of all, it proves you don't have to have that limiting belief on yourself in terms of what you could do next.
Absolutely. Yes, that's such an important thing. And but also I think you need someone to make you realize what you just said. And I think
Yeah.
that's the advantage for me in talking to you right now, because a lot of those things I didn't see it before. I
Mm.
knew they were there probably, but I was not aware, and I wasn't sure how to use it to my own benefit. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's the key.
exactly. You remember
Mhm.
in the beginning, there were several openings in this function,
Yes,
and you said, I should maybe go to the one that I know pretty well, which is strategy.
yes,
And you end in another function, which is now leading a much bigger team. And the third part, which is really extraordinary, is you went from an individual contributor, even though you were like leading a matrix team, now to directly having a team of 9 very experienced people, leaders
true.
who report to
Yes,
you.
yes, that's a challenge, of course, but a challenge I really wanted,
Yes.
and now I'm
Yes.
craving more. So yes.
How do you feel now that you've achieved this main milestone in your career?
It's I feel very inspired, to be honest, and as I said, I now I'm feeling like I'm craving for more, because I have proved myself what I can do in this
Yeah.
short time frame with the new few tools that I had at the moment. So now I'm only imagining what I will be able to achieve in the next 3 years, for instance. That is what I have as my next milestone.
Yeah, absolutely. Now,
Yes.
I want to ask you, okay, let's talk about this. How long does it take for you to achieve this goal?
3 weeks. Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
What did you work on in that 3 weeks?
Oh, many things. As I said, I think we went through 3 modules of the program in 3 weeks. So it was starting to shape myself differently, the way I was talking to myself, um, prepare my resume, absolutely change everything around my resume. When I came here, it was very hard for me to identify the impact I was having in the business, because I was feeling like, only a support function. There's no impact. I'm not making any impact. So that changed my mindset right away. That was the first thing. And then the preparation for the interviews. Every session we had, I think at some point we were meeting like 3 times per week just to prepare for the interviews
Yeah.
and changing things. And I was ready for it. But then it was not only the interview, but also the negotiation part. That to me was absolutely stepping out of my comfort zone. I
Why?
think it probably was the second time that I have negotiated a salary, but not at the same level or with the same mindset, as in I deserve what I'm asking for,
Mm.
and to have real support behind me, as in, and probably you're asking for not even what you deserve. Maybe you even deserve more, but let's start here. So it was that push and that different way of approaching the things. It was as simple as that.
Yeah.
So
I,
yeah.
I want to go back a little bit to all the 3 points you just mentioned. Let's start from the negotiation.
Yes.
So you had so many position changes and promotion over the career. What was stopping you before?
Probably it was just the lack, I would not say the lack, the fear of confronting,
Mm.
of having to confront the other part, but also to fear that if I was doing that I was going to lose my chance,
Yeah.
right? Because I was not really believing in myself. I was really not believing in the value I was adding. So I just wanted to go with it, just go with the flow. And probably say, just starting a few years ago when I started realizing what you just point out, my experience, it's broader than many other people. I'm adding way more value than many other people. Why am I not asking for more? So definitely it comes with the experience. It comes with age, if I can call it that way. You are more brave to put yourself out there and ask for what you deserve. But then this time was different, as I said, because I was prepared for that. I was, I had, I realized that I wasn't good for confronting or for negotiation. So now I rehearse for that.
Yeah.
I was challenged by you, by what I have put in front of as my goal. You were like, no, no, no. push it more. You can do more. It's too low. It's too little. And that, yeah, to me, that's exactly what I needed. Just someone to be behind me and say, yeah, just go. And also it's very interesting because the previous time I did it, I did have someone, it was my husband, telling me like, that's not right. What do you mean? Go ahead and ask for more. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. So I realized that somehow, I always needed that. You always need some support. You are so much into the things that you don't realize that you can be asking for more.
I really want to point out a mindset here, right? A lot of, especially I see female, we do it when we get a position like a level up and we feel really grateful for being given that opportunity. And we feel like, oh, they already gave me this opportunity that I don't feel fully qualified for. And I shouldn't ask for more. I should just be happy and grateful and just like grab this opportunity, don't let it go. Right. So that I don't negotiate, right? I should be grateful. So many people have that mentality when they're in that negotiation stage, when they actually got a level up in terms of their position.
Absolutely. I think that's exactly what happened to me and what it used to happen. Like I was moving, I had the opportunity to move to different positions and corporate and dealing with executives and so on, that I was feeling like this is enough. Just to have the exposure and so on, that's enough. Why would I have to ask for more? So yes, definitely it's a mindset that needs to be changed.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about your resume. You said you were struggling to make sure that you showcase your impact as a support function. You didn't feel that you made direct business impact. What was the mindset there?
Yeah, the mindset for me was as, let's say when I was leading a project, I was only seeing that deliverable of that project. Or in the corporate strategy, I deliver a slide. I delivered the presentation to go to the board and present what we're going to do. So I was not stepping up and realizing the financial, the profitability aspect of it, right? And there is something more. Definitely, there's something more. But the articulation of it, the message, is what I was lacking.
Exactly. Yeah. I want to say the resume is not just about like it's a document of all the things you've done, you've achieved before. There is a narrative, there is a story there, and there is a way to show your impact. It's not just like state the KPI you've achieved. It's not just about that. It's more than that.
Exactly. Yes. And that was what I was missing. I was only just being very operational, if I can call it that way. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think in the process where we develop your narrative, the next level, the next version of your narrative, we also expanded it as well. And through the way you were like, oh yeah, you remind me of that. Yeah, I've done these functions, I've done these different roles, and I did lead before. So how did that part shape your story in the end?
In many ways. So I think one, it was the way I talk to myself. The fact of now believing what I have achieved, but at the same time, the way I was talking to myself, it was not as in the same way as I am today, but in what I wanted to achieve, either at that point of the interview or in 3 years. And the decisions I was taking also were coming from the future me. So that definitely, I would say that was the biggest one. That the other thing, it was that you were believing so much. Probably you were believing more in me than I was believing in myself. So that was reflecting also in pushing me out of my comfort zone and to be able to elevate myself to levels that I wasn't even aware yet. I think that was very important for me as we were shaping the resume.
Yeah.
So then I went to the interview process. So then when I was going into the interview, I was like, I got this. I know I've done it. So the energy that I was coming into the interview was absolutely different.
In what way?
Yeah, I was I have owned it. I know I can do it. And I also know what I can do later with it. I know I have way more room for continue doing more things. So instead of coming to the room as in, I'm here to prove myself to you. It was more as, I'm here to sell that I can do way many things for you. Not only what I've done in the past. It was a different energy. Yes.
Absolutely love it. And I have to say, in this whole process, you didn't have that many sponsors. Actually, you didn't have any sponsor.
Not really. No, I would say only one, the person who pointed out to me, and it was not necessarily a sponsor. It was more as in try to guide me. But yeah, not necessarily this time. Yes.
Yeah. What do you want to say to those people who think, oh, everything in this level of appointment is just politics? There's nothing else.
I mean, it might. Yes, it might. But you still need to give the chance to yourself. If you don't believe in yourself and you don't put yourself out there and don't give the chance to prove yourself wrong, maybe there's no way you're gonna know if it is real or not.
Yeah, you need to take the opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. We don't know what will come out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. What other takeaway do you have in this program since we have worked?
Yes, I have two more takeaways. One is to accept that I needed help. I think and to shape together what that help looks like. Every session is a new piece of the puzzle to me. That was the very first thing when we talked. I realized, yes, I might need some help to do something different. And the other one is that every session I'm humble and I'm open to being challenged. At the beginning, I was worried that once I have achieved this position we're talking about, we will be running out of milestones to achieve. Little did I know that clearly it's only the beginning. And every session, I have something new to work on. So definitely those two things are, plus the way I talk to myself today, that is so different from a few months ago. Those three for me are my main takeaways so far.
I love what you just said. Many people think the program is about you just get me the next position and I signed the offer. Now I'm in this position. I'm done. And you are saying that I got a new position. Now I'm leading this team. I'm in this new leadership position and we just got started. Elaborate on that.
Many other things just in continue shaping myself. I have so much room to grow, but also you need to be open for that. You need to be open to understand that it's only a tiny piece of it's building blocks. So every day you have something new, something different that you could be working on.
I absolutely love what you said. And you are the kind of person that is absolutely a pleasure for me to work with because you are so ready to unlearn and relearn and just like be super open to try new things, like try this. And I always push you. And every time you come back and you are next level of you, I can definitely feel that. We've only been working for, I think till now, a couple of months and you already achieved your goal. And we still have a long way to go. So I already see the major milestones and progress you've been making. Do you see it yourself? How do you see it?
Absolutely. I see it. I feel it, to be honest. I think probably I feel it more than what I see it because I know it's the way I approach things. It's the way, I know I keep saying this, but it's the way I talk to myself. It's the way I wake up every morning and it's the way I dress, is the way, it's many things. So it's more how I feel. And now I believe my next step is to showcase so people can actually see it.
Yeah, we see it. No worries. What you feel inside of you is projecting you to the outside world. So outside world also feel it as well. Can you talk about the return of investment? Because in the beginning, when you joined this program, it was an investment for you.
When you ask me about the return of investment, what does it look like for me? For me, getting clear advice and actions on how to achieve my goal, full commitment and transparency from you or from my coach are very important. But overall, the feeling that you believe in me more than I do is a huge factor because that will only reflect in pushing me out of my comfort zone and to elevate myself to places or to levels that I'm not even aware of. So I think for me, it made a difference, probably a few of sessions we were in, when you told me, you can be a VP, you can be a one level down C-suite. And a few weeks ago, you started now going into, you can be in the C-suite. Probably you don't realize, I've never thought like that. I haven't even unblocked that piece of my brain, that level in my brain before. So the fact that you are pushing me because you believe that I could be doing that, then that's the return of investment for me, because I know eventually I will be going further and further and further. And then it will be up to me where to stop. But in the meantime, I will be gathering the tools, right? So yeah, I will say that's it.
This is beautiful. You just said it will be up to me to decide when to stop. I just love what you just said about that.
Yeah, I'll just be here receiving as much as I can, and then I'll have to decide, right? Yeah.
What do you want to say to someone who have the same level of self-doubt and self-limiting beliefs as you were just a couple of months ago?
Because of my background of being in the minority, often underrepresented and sometimes overlooked, I understand the challenges that come with this journey. And I am committed to lifting others as I climb, as I said earlier, but ensuring that no one has to face these kind of obstacles that I encounter alone. I want to create pathways for others. And this mission is not negotiable for me. There is no plan B. So what I want to say with this is that for those people who have some doubts, if you find yourself as the only one in the room, or if you want to make any difference for those coming behind us, the first step is that you need to believe in yourself. And you need to shape yourself into the role model and executive that you seek today. This journey requires support, and that's what this program offers, a coach or a community where you don't have to do it alone. So I really encourage you to join the program, because bringing your unique story will make the difference. And you will not know until you don't try it.
Yeah. When the first time we spoke, you talk about this purpose already. I find it was extremely inspiring. You were saying that I looked around, there's no one look like me around the table. You share that aspect.
Yeah. Yes. And I truly believe it. I truly believe that I do want to see more people who looks like me out there. And that's why I said there's no plan B for me. So I needed to do something about it. And if joining this program was going to be lifting my mission and supporting my mission, then here I am. Yes.
Yeah. I love this quote. This is actually from Lina Nair, the Chanel CEO. And she said, lift others while you climb.
I love it. I know. Lift as you climb. Yes.
Exactly.
I love it.
Any last word from you, Aurelie?
You need someone who believes way more than you believe in yourself to push yourself. And this program has definitely done that for me so far. So I'm very excited for what is coming in the next months.